This is Sarah, Poff, and those art hands. They're a gift from God. So you saw the supplies I had out. I had an egg carton, and I had twist ties, a paintbrush, and some watercolors. So I don't know if anybody's ever made a caterpillar, but that's what I was intending this to be. I used to make them I used to cut them out, have the older kids help me cut them out, had some helpers at recess, and then the younger ones were able to paint them and create a caterpillar. I think I did it with first grade. Hi, Mildred, good to see you. We're taking an egg carton, and we are making caterpillars out of it. Now, I put the watercolor out there. Watercolor is a really good choice for younger children. This absorbs in there really quickly, and it wouldn't be as messy to use. And then there's also something called tempera cakes. You can always use regular tempera like this. However, the tempera cakes work a lot like the watercolor. They just have more intense color like the tempera paint. Instead of being transparent, they were more opaque in nature. So I really like those. So I wanted to show you how I make this happen. I guess I forgot my water. Let me reach over here and get my water. It's hard to remember to get it all together here. Okay, and here's my favorite little bottle. Works real nice. Okay, so, and then I want to actually put a little bit in. And this would be what I would consider, like, you want to do heavy on watercolor. You don't want to do watercolor in its normal nature. However, younger children a lot of times tend to do that anyway. They tend to do that anyway. So, right there, looks good. So that's how the watercolor looks. Okay, now let me do the tempera cake. So it's still that same kind of thing. You're going to have to add water to it. It can have a much deeper color quicker than the watercolor. You just gotta see if I can get this where you can see it. I'm trying the camera out at a different angle, and it's mixing me up on where I need to be with my items. I just keep trying to see if I can make it better. Make it better. Do a better job. But I also like it to be more of an art talk instead of just the project. There are definitely on my YouTube channel, there are projects. And I sure would appreciate anybody out there that watches that would make sure that they like my page. Alright, so this one is tempera cake. This is watercolor. Because we did a heavy on watercolor, you can see that yeah, that's a pretty intense color there. Okay, so then you can also use, of course, acrylic paint's fine too. It's non-toxic, but just, it's a lot messier. Thank you, Mildred. I appreciate you. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to cut this. Okay, let's see. Where am I? Oh, there we go. I found myself. Alright, so I'm going to cut this apart. So, I don't know about you, but we have more eggs around our house than normal. I've actually been baking. I made homemade chocolate chip cookies from flour, not from a mix, for the first time in a really long time. Now, the older kids could cut this. However, the younger ones, this is going to be a harder challenge for them to cut it. So I actually like, what I do is I stick my scissors in and cut down. Then I go to the next section, kind of stick them in, cut that one cut. And then I'll have to probably come back on some of these and I'll have to go and cut that center section out. But this helps. So you stick your scissors in, make the one cut, mash down. All right, here we go. Now, if you happen to have the other kind of egg carton, I actually do have some of the other kind of egg cartons in my refrigerator. So there's some really cool things you can make out of those. If I go out into my art area in my storage, I could even come up with the books from the 60s where my mom used to make things from the recycles. So this is a good time to use recycles. All right, now it came off. It just kind of pulled off on the rest. So you can see that I'm going to want to go back in here and I'm going to want to cut some of this off. So there's that good little book, The Very Hungry Caterpillar, that this goes nicely with. So I did this a lot of times. I did this for my Earth Week project with first graders. But I was really lucky. I had lots of parents who helped me collect things. I had what I called art assistants, who were boys and girls who stayed in at recess and helped me prepare. So they helped make my program strong. Okay, I'm going to go back and cut this because I think it looks a little bit more like a caterpillar. We cut a little bit more of that out. Now I'm just going to leave it like that. You probably want to fix it so that it sits flatter and looks a little bit nicer on there. But I don't want to take the video time to do that. I want us to go on and work on the rest. I might take a little bit of time right here and try to get this one side painted just a little bit. So after you let these dry, you usually have to go back and paint just a little bit more on them. Now, one other way that this could be done, if you're, at home wanting something for the children to do and you don't have watercolor or tempera paint or acrylic paint, what you could do is you could take markers. I've done that before. It depends on what kind of day you're having with the children, with the students. There's always, using the markers to put dots all over those. You can do that and just leave it that color, or sometimes they'll get so busy with it that they just cover mostly the whole thing up with dots. Now, pipe cleaners look best. Hi, Beth. Good to see you. Pipe cleaners look best as antennas. However, if you don't have any, there's always the old trusty twist tie. So I'm going to I've got two twist ties together here. I'll show you how to do that. So I twisted those together. You could put each one of them in there, but it kind of is hard to get, you sometimes if the kids play with it too much, you're going to need to come back and tape it from the bottom to get it to hold up better. So if you do it this way, you won't have quite as much of that to do. So I'm going to take my scissors, something that a parent would need to help, or whoever's making it with the kids. So I'm going to stick my scissors down in there. Now, if the egg carton is still wet, you've got to watch or you'll cut too much. Okay. So I could bend my antennas a little more if the children play with it. That would be something that they might have fun changing about. And like I said, if you are really doing this with the kids, you might want to spend a little bit more time evening it up. I just didn't want to do that because I wanted you to see what it took to make this project. Now, my idea or thought was for the dots, for the spots on this, was to cut little circles or to hole punch. Now, hole punch is a skill that I always wanted to see that my students learned. However, when they are young, they do not have the strength to push that hole punch down. Kindergartners and first graders have trouble with that. So you might have to help them, but it's also a skill that they could work on because it develops this part. All right, now I'm going to just take my glue. When you are gluing things like this on, it's best to put dots of glue. Put several dots at once. And then I'll show you what I think is the easy way to put those dots on. I think the easiest way is to take your finger like that, and then I'm going to touch a dot, and then I'm going to touch the glue dot. So, and you don't have to do it to your tongue each time. It just makes it real easy. Now with what's going on in society right now, you probably better wash hands really good before you would consider doing that, or you might just need to do it a different way. I have been washing my hands like all day long, off and on all day long. Just trying to keep as clean as I can from those germs. You can do it without that. See, that's what I did right there. I did it without it. It's just a little more difficult. So maybe we need to go with the new ways. And of course, it's always fun when they come up with their own ideas. They may end up cutting some other shapes besides wanting to do the dots. Okay, let's see if I can put it. But it goes so much faster than if you put the glue on the dot, or you have to get the glue each time and do it. That takes a lot of time too. So let's see now. I'm going to put just a couple more up here, and I think I'm going to only do one side with you. It's because you'll be able to see the idea without it taking a really long time. So it's some nice sunshine out there today. I've been walking outside, been trying to keep my steps going. Not very many people out, and the people in my little cul-de-sac, they are staying a good distance from each other, so that's to be thankful for, because we want to all stay safe. All right, now he needs some eyes. So many ways you could do that too. Of course, if you did the marker method, you can just draw the eyes. Wiggly eyes are fun. However, if you're not a crafter, you might not have wiggly eyes. So I didn't do wiggly eyes just because I thought, well, I'll show somebody what it's like. Oh, does he need green eyes? He needs green eyes, or she needs green eyes. And then I'm going to cut an oval. Okay, I'm going to lay this one on top. I probably should have done what I showed the other day, is I should have folded my paper in half and cut the two ovals, because that way they would be the same size. I didn't do it, so I'm just going to hold this one here, and it's going to be my pattern. All right. All right, there we go. All right, now I need a big mouth on there. I really didn't set any red paper over here, so let's see what I could do. Let's see if I can take and we'll do a pink one. This will be in honor of small one. She likes pink a lot. She does. So I made it wide enough that when I cut it, it'll still be big enough. I may have to cut this down a little. So see, I've tried really hard to show you, you know, if you have different tools, what you could use with that, because I know that we are trying really hard not to go out to stores to buy things. So I'm trying to just show you different crafts. Okay, it's a little bit big. Little bit big there. So let's cut it down. It's better for it to be a little bit big than a little bit small. I remember when the day the kids got to take these home when I did it in the classroom. They were so excited. They would play with them. They didn't want to put them in their backpack. They wanted to play with them. We're going to give him a nose. And then sometimes, you know, the most exciting thing to me was when the students would come back the next day or a few days later, and they would be making the same thing I had taught them to make, but they would be making it from supplies from their home. So there are my dots. Now she has eyes. You know, you could have fun. Well, let's just do this. We got a little time here. There's not a certain time we have to be off of here. What if we gave some hair? And do caterpillars have hair? Not really. It's just kind of fun to add a few more details on there. Okay, so I fringed it. Now I'm going to do like this. I'm just going to, I was rolling it over, but I really actually think that fan fold would probably be the best thing to do. All right, now to hold that on, I think this might work. A twist tie. And let's just pull the antennas out. And we will put that between the antennas. And then we'll just stick it back in this part right here, back down in there. Oh, and I thought about it. I never showed what you do with confetti eggs. We made them, but I didn't ever show it. So I've got to do a little video sometime. Who knows, I might sneak it in tonight sometime. All right, then I'm going to pull that down like that. Oh my golly gee. Well, that's kind of fun. Kind of fun there. All right, this is Sarah Poff. And now, Sarah Poff. I lost my internet there for a minute. This is Sarah Poff. And those art hands, they're a gift from God. I hope you have fun with your caterpillar. We'll catch you another time again soon. Have a good afternoon.